very pleased to be able to give you an update today on Blue Sky Uranium. I last spoke about the company in the spring, and we've made a lot of progress since that time with our exploration programs. I often start off these talks by just pointing out that the cover slide really tells a lot about what we've been discovering in Argentina. And here you can see this yellow mineral. It's a mineral called carnotite, which contains uranium and vanadium, and we've been discovering it in largely unconsolidated sands and gravels at or near surface over a very large area, and that's going to be the theme as we move through the talk. I will be making some forward-looking statements. Blue Sky is a member company of the Grosso Group of companies, which has been successfully exploring in Argentina for almost a quarter century. We have 3 significant precious metal discoveries to our credit, and are well known for incorporating a very strong community relations program into our exploration efforts. This is the management team of the company. We've got a very seasoned management group here in Vancouver, led by Joseph Grosso, the founder of the Grosso Group. He's sitting here in the front row. I've been involved on the technical side of the company since its inception in the mid-2000s, and Guillermo Pensado, who is our exploration manager in Argentina, he's also sitting here in the front row, has been overseeing the exploration for the last couple of years for us. On the lower right-hand side of the slide is Jorge Barizo, who we hired in the mid-2000s to basically follow up on some of his exploration ideas that he had generated over the years when he was working in Argentina in exploration with the Argentine Nuclear Energy Agency, and he made the initial discoveries in Rio Negro that have evolved into the significant project that we have today. We, like most uranium analysts and people following the sector, believe that the uranium price is going to be gradually improving over the next several years as we head towards and past 2020 due to supply and demand fundamentals, and this is an excellent backdrop for us as we move forward with our uranium project in Argentina. We've always known that there was a significant vanadium component to the mineralization that we were discovering, and thought that it would be a significant credit as we move forward. But that has certainly increased more recently with the increase in price and attention on vanadium as a potential battery metal, and the ability to store large grid-type power generated by renewable energy. Argentina itself is a nuclear country. It has 3 active nuclear reactors at the present. It's also got the ability to enrich uranium. It builds its own nuclear fuel rods, and it builds and sells smaller reactors to other countries, and has a number of them throughout the country itself. So it really has all of the components of the nuclear industry with the exception of domestic supply. And the government has come out numerous times and said that it wants to foster and encourage a nuclear or uranium exploration and development industry, and so that's a very helpful thing to have in a country like Argentina as we move forward on our project. There's going to be increasing demand for domestic supply of uranium in Argentina as they're continuing to build out their infrastructure. 1 further reactor is under construction right now, and several more are in the planning and proposal stages. So our flagship project is called Amarillo Grande. You can see the map on the lower right-hand side of the slide shows that it's located in the northernmost of the Patagonian provinces of Rio Negro. Very good access with respect to infrastructure. It's located less than 100 kilometers from deepwater ports in the Atlantic Ocean. Excellent road access. It's just several hundred meters above sea level, so we're able to work this property on a year-round basis. And we discovered this district, and as such, we were able to assemble a very large land position of mineral rights covering almost 250,000 or more than 250,000 hectares. This stretches along a 140-kilometer long trend along which we've discovered multiple zones of uranium, vanadium mineralization at or near surface, hosted by largely unconsolidated sands and gravels. initial metallurgical and beneficiation test work has shown that this material can be upgraded at a very low cost and with simple wet screening and leached using environmentally benign alkaline leach processes. So we believe that we've got an excellent potential to identify several discrete deposits along this trend that could be developed as satellite or discrete operations, upgrading on site and then transport to a central processing facility. This is a timeline of development of the company. As I said, we made the initial discoveries back in 2006 in this area of Argentina. We subsequently flew several large regional airborne surveys identifying targets, which we followed up with very cost-effective trenching and pitting programs, and then moved on to drilling in some cases and ground geophysics. We weathered the downturn after Fukushima and the uranium exploration business. We entered into an option joint venture agreement with Areva for several years, pursuing roll front type deposits on one area of our large concessions, and then kept our land package intact through the downturn in the junior mining sector that we're just coming out of now. We recapitalized the company in 2016 and started some large geophysical surveys aimed at refining drill targets, and through 2017 we've carried out a significant amount of drilling. We're just recognizing now that we've got some potential roll front style deposits on our concessions. Over time we've been exploring for and talking about these superficial style of mineral deposits, which have potential to be very large and laterally extensive and have low extraction and operating costs. So we feel that we've sort of got a hybrid between these two styles of deposits, but Langer Heinrich, which is an example of a superficial type deposit in Namibia, has very low cash costs, less than $20 a pound, and I always put Waluna up here because it's a good example of the sort of thing that we're looking at, where there's a number of discrete deposits that they're planning on developing using a central processing facility. So Havana, where we had most of our work carried out over the last year, is a new discovery. We identified this target in 2010 with our regional airborne surveys, but didn't really drill in the key area until earlier in 2017. We're just completing a phase 2 drill program that'll bring the total to approximately 6,700 meters of drilling at Havana, and we've discovered a very significant near-surface zone of mineralization we're calling primary style mineralization or roll front type mineralization, characterized by coffinite plus or minus uraninite and surrounded by a halo of more oxidized carnotite mineralization. And we've done this with an RC drill that you can see pictured here on the left-hand side of the slide. So this is a map showing the surface footprint of the mineralization that we've outlined to date and put out in a series of press releases. This has got a grade time thickness contour on it. It extends for 5 kilometers in an arcuate shape and is certainly open to expansion in a number of directions. And you can see some of the typical grades from the drilling that we've reported, ranging up to more than 10,000 ppm U3O8 or more than 1% U3O8 in individual intercepts. This is a similar map here that you see on the right-hand side of the slide. In this map, we've included all of the drill holes that we've completed to date. The green holes we've not received or released results for, and those basically bring the drill spacing on this down to 100 meters or so. And so we're just waiting for the bulk of those results to come back, and then we'll be putting them out into the market. This mineralized corridor, as we've been calling it, as I said, is 5 kilometers long, certainly good potential for expanding it along strike in a number of directions, and it varies from 200 to 400 meters in width and is up to 23 meters thick. At the present time, we're just waiting for the rest of the results, and then we're going to be finalizing a maiden resource, 43-101 resource estimate on the project. which we expect to be releasing towards the end of Q1 of 2018. At the same time, we've been advancing on significant amount of uranium and metallurgical and beneficiation test work that we intend on continuing on with, but we'll be putting out some initial results from that tomorrow morning. The other significant area that we've been working on is ANEAT. We discovered that back in 2008 and carried out a significant amount of work on it in 2009 and 10, culminating in more than 5,000 meters of air core drilling and significant trench and pit sampling. And here we've defined a more than 6 kilometer long zone of uranium vanadium mineralization at surface. We've demonstrated that we can beneficiate or upgrade that significantly. And again, this plays into the idea of transporting a higher value a concentrated product to a central processing facility. We carried out 1,200 meters of drilling on ANEAT in 2017. And basically we've determined that there's a significant vanadium halo around the core of uranium vanadium mineralization, and that's something that we're investigating for further down the road, and could add significantly to the scope of the project moving forward. So just to wrap up, I'm running out of time here. We've carried out a significant amount of drilling in 2017. We're wrapping that up now and moving into a maiden resource estimate on the project. And we'll be continuing on with more metallurgical and engineering studies towards a economic study later in 2018. This is the market capitalization of the company, just $20 million at the moment, and the share structure details you can see here. So I'll just wrap up by saying I hope you consider Blue Sky Uranium as an investment. We're actively exploring this massive land position that we have, continuing to discover new things, and we feel that we're just at the right time in the uranium sector as it continues to rebound, and we're enjoying obviously a very robust vanadium market right now. So thank you very much.